Hello, welcome Jojo's Cross Borders. Today is very special. We're not interviewing anybody, we're going to be interviewee. So two organizational psychologists get together. We'll show you what is the competence-based interview. So let me introduce my colleague Sara first. Sara, could you introduce yourself first and then also tell us what is the interview, what we try to demonstrate today?
Absolutely lovely. So I'm Sara Coaley. Real pleasure to be partnering with you today. My background was in human resources and I interviewed many people. I also observed many interviews and continue to overhear interviews even in cafes, and you hear that they're not always done that well. We want to get the best people into the best roles. It's not about how good people are at interviews. It's about finding out if they're going to fit the role. So that's why we use competency or behavioural interviewing.
Okay, thank you. So before we go for further, can we just quickly talk about what is this competency-based one? What is the STAR module? I mean, what's that stand for first?
Yes. So when we're running a behavioural or competency-based interview, a really useful technique is the STAR model. It's very widely used. It's often also used as a feedback model. In the context of interviews, STAR stands for situation, task, action, result. It gives us a structure for the sequence of questions that we ask.
So the next one, I'm going to act in with the 3 scenario of the interviewees, and the big interview is by Sara, and we're going to explain what's the theories behind when we interview, when we try to find the best candidate. Okay, shall we start?
Yes, and just to say that in a normal interview situation, I would have greeted Jojo. I would have made sure she was comfortable, that she knew about the structure of the interview. For today's demonstration, we're not going to show you any of that. I'm going to zoom straight in to the STAR model questioning itself.
Exactly, get into the point straight away. Okay, demo 1. So what is the situation?
Yes.
Who should I act in?
Yes, so situation 1, I'm calling the new entrant. And this could either be someone new to the workplace, so it could be a graduate that we're hiring. It could be someone who is re-entering the workplace, perhaps they've taken some leave of absence for whatever reason, or it could be someone transitioning into a new career. So they're not coming with a lot of experience. So I'm not expecting them to give me examples that are similar to the role, but what I'm looking for are the behaviours or competencies that they will need in this role that are transferable.
Okay, all right, I'm ready. Yeah, not sure if I can act in a new fresh graduate. Not for the look, but try for the behaviour, I try to.
Absolutely. And in a real interview, I would be taking some notes. So I may look down from time to time and take a few notes.
I don't think that's going to be rude to me.
Good. So my new entrant, Jojo. Can you tell me about a time when you contributed to a team?
Hello. Yes, contribution a team. I used to work with a team of a very famous international law firm, and I was a training. I worked for the HR department. I was a training specialist, help my manager to organize a training. Sometimes I help my manager design something. So then there was time, we get a request from our boss. They say one of their team members really good at what he does, performing well. The issue is nobody knows what he's up to. But he's quite valuable team members in our firm. So then HR, we don't know what to do. We had runs team building activities with that particular team. So that is then I have an idea.
Let me just ask you a question,
Sure.
just so I really understand the situation.
Sure.
So This is in your role as a training specialist.
Yes.
So, well, what was your particular task what were you trying to achieve in this particular example, you personally?
Yeah, I was a training specialist. So the main purpose, I will support my manager, facilitate, just be there whenever the team asks me to do. But the core job requirements is related to training.
So could you think of one particular occasion where you were called upon by your boss to support the team in some way? Could you think of a specific example?
So specific training is my boss. So I will design the training curriculum, and then so I follow the standards, the way. And then there's one time my boss saying that, Jojo, this training is good, but can you think about some other way, because the trainees are from different background and then different sectors in our firm. So that's a specific request I can remember my boss asked me to do.
Great, thank you for finding a really specific example. So how did you respond to his request? What did you do?
So I have so in the curriculum I design, I still designed full as normal, gave them like a general training objectives and task. So basically I was following the guideline to design. However, I added some scenario, role play. I designed some role plays for this training regarding to cross-section scenario that gonna happen. And also I designed, because my manager saying that people from different sector, also from different country. So I also weaving in some different countries' habits, things like that.
So how did you know about those countries' habits?
I didn't know. I just researched.
So you did some research. So how did you go about your research?
How did I go with that? What do you mean?
So where did you get your information from?
Oh, I got my information from social media.
Social media.
And from internet, yeah.
And how were you clear that that was a good source of information?
I don't know. I see lots of people viewing, and then I see lots of people like it. I don't know.
Thank you for that. So what feedback did you get from your manager on what you had designed?
So my manager quite like it. My manager only used one scenario I prepared, and then so we talk a little bit about what should we do in terms of like a social networking after meetings. So people quite like it because I can see the laughs, and then it's using my preparation as a finish out for the training. I didn't get direct feedback from managers saying that's good, but I can see people enjoy that.
What did you learn from having taken on that piece of work?
What I learned that I think the project, you cannot just follow a standard structure for courses or trainings. You always prepare something extra to adding some EVs, scenarios. Yeah, that's what I learned.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Jojo.
You're welcome.
So there we are. That's our
Okay,
first
right.
situation.
How is my acting to become less confident? I guess that's not part of me. I'm always quite confident. All right. Okay. As a specialist, as a organizational psychologist, can you review this? And then as a HR minds, what do you think this candidates is what you're looking for? Thanks.
So the number one thing would be, of course, before I prepared for this interview, I would have defined the role. So I would then be looking at the evidence I've gathered and I would match it to the role requirement. Okay. The danger of making any decisions in the room is where our bias often comes in. That is why taking notes is important. Now, if we think about the STAR structure, which I was using, we can see, I think, how that developed through the conversation. So I asked you, tell me about a time. And this is a classic way of starting a sequence of STAR interview questions. So I'm focused on one competency, which is your teamwork skills. And then I use what is actually called a command. Tell me about a time, describe a time when. You were then quite vague, which is not unusual for our new entrant, our person who's not too sure about what's being asked for here. So I then had to ask you more questions and interrupted you, hopefully politely, to get you to something really specific, because I don't want to know vaguely what you did, and I'm not interested in your colleagues, I'm interested in you. Now, I'm interested in your colleagues in that how you interacted with them, but not them and their behaviours.
Exactly, it's about you. Yeah, it's about the candidates.
So that's why at the beginning I was drilling in a little bit into you, what the situation was, make it really specific, one training, not all of them, and what you did and what you were trying to achieve. And you could start to then hear there that you were working in an environment where you were quite reactive, weren't you? You were doing what your boss asked you.
Yeah.
Not you, our scenario you. And actually the example didn't really show me much of your team working. So I might, if I had this example, I might want to follow up with another question, maybe about working with a colleague, because you might find that easier to answer. So then that's the situation and the task. So the situation was the training that needed to be done. The task was, well, that your role was to specifically go away and make it, not just follow the normal structure, but make it more specific. I then asked you what you did, how you researched. I checked in on your critical thinking, which was not being displayed there, but maybe I don't expect it so much at this level. I don't know. I'd have to see the role.
That's why I choose saying that social media. I didn't go for academia.
Absolutely, and I wouldn't be looking for an academic probably in this scenario.
So that shows the action part, right?
That's the action. What did you actually do? And really, that's where we get most of it. So if it was a real interview, I would have spent more time on that. So I'm just demoing it here. So I would drill in even more. The result was, well, you actually naturally told me that people laughed, and you saw that as a good sign. Your boss took one of the scenarios. He didn't really give you that much feedback. So I'm getting the feeling that you're not someone at this stage who's going to be probing their boss for more feedback. So I'm hearing that. But also you were able to say what you learnt, and that's another part of the R of the result. It can be what was the result, what was the outcome, but also what you learnt, what feedback you got and what you learnt.
Yes, okay, right. Thank you for explaining this. So this is the module, like we say, that is the STAR. So the interviewee from this overall, psychologically, what do you think about this candidate?
So I think this candidate sounds inexperienced and sounds used to reacting rather than being proactive. I'm not hearing assertive behaviours, but again, maybe if this is a more junior role, maybe that's okay. I'm not hearing critical thinking. I'm not hearing the depth of, for example, this individual could be a member of a professional body like the Chartered Institute of Personal and Development. Maybe that would have been a better resource for information than going to social media just to see how many likes there were. So I'm wondering about that here. But then again, if this is someone very early in their career, perhaps I'm not expecting that yet. But yes, quite reactive this individual is at the moment. And of course, maybe that was the first question I asked them and they're still a bit tense. So as I said, I would ask them another question about maybe supporting a colleague. And that might open up a bit more about how they interact with others. Because again, I'm not really seeing how our new entrant was interacting with her boss. She's just reacting.
Okay, so now let's acting scenario 2. So can we talk a little bit about what the situation different from the previous one then?
Yes. So scenario 2 is what I'm calling an experienced professional. And by this I mean it could be any kind of career, any kind of industry, that it could be a leadership role or not a leadership role, but it's someone who has operated in a similar kind of role for a number of years. So they're in a place of being able to respond to a good range of questions. They will have experienced many of the things that I'm going to ask them about before. So I'm expecting this person will be comfortable with the STAR model as well, may have even interviewed themselves, possibly, being a hiring manager, and so be comfortable with answering that STAR model shape, structure.
Okay.
So a bit more confident and experienced.
All right.
Is what I'm
cool.
thinking.
All right. Okay. So, now I interview a sales director job in the country. So I'm ready.
So could you tell me about a time when you led a project?
Sure. The latest project is I'm leading my sales team, which is have 20 people. We're trying to prepare a bidding for this a big international project for my client, which is we provide this equipment for helping them building this construction in the other country.
Lovely. So you say that you were leading a team of 20 people. Tell me a bit more about your responsibility within that.
Yeah, so we have 20 people under me. So most of my teams, some of them, they prepare all the documents for the sales, for the bidding, and then admin work. And then a lot of my teams members also do a research as well. So we better know that's what other competitors, what on the markets for all the same equipment. And then also one of my teams also do this like a coordinator with the engineer as well. So if there's anything sales we are bidding have some issues, so we can directly talk to the support team, technical support straight away, and customer service as well. Yeah.
So how did you interact with your team whilst they were doing that work?
When I have a PA, so basically I will my PA mostly getting the things done following my schedule, and then so how I interacted with them is we having a weekly meeting. We also having a before we go to the site like a bidding. So we have a full days prep, like projects role play as well with all of my salesperson who related to that project.
So if I was in the room on the day that you were prepping and observing you, what behaviours were you using to get the most out of that day?
Oh, as a leader of 20 people, usually I will provide them the guidelines, like what the main things, what our objective we're going to do. And then, but I will usually, when we hold the meeting, I will ask each leader questions of what the status is and how, what's the issues, any challenges, and how we're going to put this team together, like in front of the clients.
And tell me a bit about the client.
Oh, so the client is very nervous about, very carefully on choosing who they're going to be the provider, because that's also a challenge project for them. It's the international construction things. Imagine if one thing goes wrong, the rest of things also won't go well. So my clients is very picky, and then pricing quite budget tight as well. So we have to go through all this process like lawyers, procurements, and contracting. We haven't gotten to that contracting until we're bidding, but we're prepared for that.
And did you have a particular person in the client organisation that you were interacting with during that process?
Yes, my clients, I interacted with their procurement manager. So that's a specific person that I'm talking with, like about our project, about our products, about our preparations, and so basically that's the person I talk to them. Not only person, I also talk to the manager. I also talking to the project manager. It's not just specific procurements.
And if you would like to pick one of those people, could you tell me a bit more about your relationship with them?
So I would talk to the project manager. So in the bidding, there was situation happens, okay? So we get to the second round. So our major competitors are already off the market.
Okay.
So we're on the second round. And then all of a sudden, there's another competitor from another country, Korea company, appear all of a sudden. And also, the price they're quoting is 20% of less than what we're giving to the clients. So then that's the situation. So my reaction is I speak to the project manager. I understand that's the tight budgeting. So to complement the differences, so my solution is I pull off a specific engineer working for their project for the next 6 months, basically to supporting these constructions on site. So that's my solution. And yes, we are more expensive, but what we can provide is not only the quality equipment, also with the on-site engineer, which is like, it's really saved them a lot of issue. If any small parts happening, like goes wrong, imagine they're going to be chaotic. So the project manager don't want that happens. So in the end, with a combination of all the services I pack together, so we win the bidding.
So when you made this offer to their project manager, that you'd have this engineer focused on them, what was that person's reaction?
The reaction is, really? Okay. Pause a little bit. And then I can see why the reason pause. You think about like this actual headcount person, is that going to be what the relationship with the whole team? And I immediately caught that pause and confused. I say that's this is how to say that what's the words, like the English words? So we specifically allocate this candidate to support your project on that months, like a 6 months basis. So his role going to be supporting your engineer on site. But if it's any issues happen, we're going to get feedback to our IT customer service departments, working together with your engineers to support in this project.
So you explained that you won the bid, which is great.
We did, yeah.
So what feedback did you get when you found out that you were successful?
The feedback got is from the client's point of view, they really like the idea that's an added value. So they said us, we choose you. Your brand is, your product is amazing. Also, the added value really make us feel secure. For my teams, is absolutely everybody is so happy, and for the on-site engineer support them is also like very supportive, saying that like they know that his work is adding, like make the importance, pulling out the strength, like for sign the contract. So he understands the duty for his work, and he's happy for the contribution as well.
And what did you learn?
What I learned for this project, I learned when you're meeting the unexpected competitors, you always think about, okay, what the added value you can provide it to your clients. What's more, let me put that way, what's more you can provide, what more you can support your clients. I think the actual one might be really make a difference because it has the consequences, isn't it?
Lovely. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so much for your interview. Thank you for your time. All right, okay.
There we are.
There we are, yes.
So there we saw the star structure again.
Yeah.
And I was looking for you to be really specific again, find a really specific example which you were able to provide. We delved into what your role was, and I was learning that you sound structured, so you use your PA to manage your schedule. You have weekly meetings. You had the sort of all in the room together meeting. Everyone knows what they're expected to do. You don't sound like you're micromanaging anyone. You sound like you're giving people parameters to work against. You're coming across as more of a leader than a project manager. So it depends what my role is that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And you allowed me to ask you the questions, didn't you? So that you didn't sort of, some candidates will just talk and talk and talk, and I do encourage people to interrupt, because there's certain things we need, and if the candidate's just talking and it's not what I need, I'm only helping them by interrupting. Now, sometimes when I train managers on using this technique, they say to me, oh, but how can I ask every candidate the same question? Well, actually, the only question that is the same is the first one. Tell me about a time when you led a project. From then on, if you notice, I'm listening to everything you say.
You did.
And I'm asking you questions purely based on your example. But I'm still following my star.
Yes. And these candidates knowing this stuff, so I describing is what's the situation and what's the task. And also I give you specific unexpected situation happens. So it's an accident. Yeah. And then the actions, solutions are actions, and then results. Of course, you also nail in more about the results and reflective learning as well.
Yes, yes, because at this level, I'm looking for someone who can learn. So if you've given me a really positive example there, I might have dug in even more into this value add piece. Whose idea was it really? Because you haven't really told me. I might have dug into that a bit more. But then I might have asked you a counter question of, can you give me an example of when you led a project and it didn't go so well, or a bid that you lost? Because I want to hear how you, it's not that you win all the time, that's not what matters to me. It's how you react when things don't go so well.
Yes, yeah. It doesn't matter about the results, it's about how you react. That's what we're
looking at.
It's the
behaviours I'm looking at.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Right. Okay. So should we go for the demo 3 then?
Let's think about that.
Yes. So what is the demo 3 about? Can we just quickly introduce to our audience?
So it's going to, it might sound, it depends on how you act, Jojo, but it might sound a little bit like the last one. So this is definitely a leadership role. I'm recruiting here for a leadership role.
Right.
This person will have interviewed and been interviewed and probably have done some sort of leadership role in the past. This could still be a step up. It could be a promotion for them.
It could be a promotion.
It could be a promotion, but this person has definitely done a leadership role before.
Right.
There is a chance that they really want to sell themselves, sort of even more than our last 2 candidates did.
Yeah.
So I may have to interrupt them more. They may or may not, we'll see in a moment, be trying to present themselves in a certain way, which is good that they have their own sort of brand, but I again want to dig into the behaviour.
Okay, right. So let me just try to chill a little bit. Usually the executive less nervous.
Yes, exactly.
All right, okay, I'm ready. All right. So now how about we interview a president of a fashion brand, like in this challenging markets stage. That
sounds good.
Sounds good.
So my question for you, candidate, is tell me about a time when you created a vision.
Right, that's a good question, Sarah. Okay, so I was appointed to be a president of China for my brand. Everybody knows this brand. So the vision is before with the vision. I went there for fixing the issues. So then we define the vision afterwards. So this problem happens in front of me, and then I need to get this fix the problem. So what the situation is, COVID is a disaster, isn't it? So after COVID, so consumers' behavior completely changed. They're doing online, they're doing the internet influencer. So our brands like age completely rising up. So our target clients is in mid-20s. Now we can see our data is getting to a mid-30s. So then everything, also our staffs, they feel like we feel like okay, they're far away. We don't know what they're doing. Also, they might feel like they're not part of like a headquarter team as well. So yeah, so that's the situation. I need to first of all the most important things is we need to solve the issues by changing our customers' age. So it's not saying that 20 is not good, but all our designs, all our products, our lines is all fit in this 20 vibes. You see what I mean? Yeah.
So you're saying that COVID obviously presented the industry and your specific business with some real challenges,
Oh, yes,
both
indeed.
in terms of clients, the brand, and your workforce.
And the staff as well, my staff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So tell me about the new vision that you created.
Yeah, so we are international brands, and then our target clients are Chinese. So the vision I changed is we blend them in. So we're using some Chinese elements. For example, they all like green jays, right? So we embrace these elements, Chinese culture part, into our new 2024 design. So then the story is like you wear this, feel like you are carrying your culture elements into this international fashion outfits like you wear.
So where did this idea come from?
This come from actually my executive coach. It's not from me, yeah, because we were thinking we have a 2 days dive-in preparation before it's announced that I'm flying to the China as a president. So we have a dive-in strategy, planning and thinking. Yeah.
So who did you have to work with to get the support for this vision to go ahead?
Yeah. So I always choosing. So my team, I have a few. When I go there, I also need to take in my core, like people work with me for years, and also I always rely on local staff as well, and the local experts who knows both culture, who are from there with an international mindset.
Mm-hmm. And what about from a sort of headquarters perspective? How did you influence them to buy into this sort of mixed branding, if you like?
It's not mixed branding. It's just like adding some touch elements, like for this target market. So how I sell is basically we run this with the other with the American before. We run that with the other regions, so they know that it could be achievable. It's mainly about how you make this story hers.
Mm-hmm. So how did you then translate that vision into some action?
So the vision actions, we have to, first of all, I have to fire the media's people we used before. I also have to change in the manufacturer lines. And then so we have to change the new ambassador, our brand ambassador as well, because it's also we think about who is the most famous, popular in Asia now. Not just China, it's also the region, Asian, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and then Great China region. So who gonna be the ideal ambassadors? And then so changing, organizational change is getting somebody new, and then align with this vision.
So your vision led to organisation change.
Correct.
And change of people you work with and you partner with.
Yes.
So what impact did that all have on the business, making all of these changes?
Data shows, the impact is basically we are changing the actions, and then according to the vision, we also changing the solutions, which is including like we need to move our main stores into different areas, which is we were looking for where our main customers they are located right now. So we open up new stores there, and then so the impact is we are the only profitable during after COVID. So you know the fashion industry really struggling, but we are still getting the most of it, and then we're still the best one on the markets, profitable. Yeah, data shows.
And how did your team react to all of this?
So my team during the organizational change, you see, everybody was panicking, and everybody doesn't know that's what's going on, what's the next. So there's a kind of like elements of like a panicking going on and confused. So my role is like basically I'm be there and to explain them like why we're doing this, and then also I never find people saying that's bye, okay, you know, end of story. I always saying that's okay, I can see that's your great works, you've been doing this for these years. This is a new role opening on the other region, so if you like to, I can, you know, help you to transit, help you to, you know, move to other region. So I always quite try to provide as an option, and then maybe some training as well. And then if it's not, like a good package to make people secure, and then good reference if you need it. And then also our HR department is also very supportive as well. So yeah, that's a confuse. And then after that, so after the change, I think people feel like they're on the mission, they're excited. They want to maintain our business standards. They want to, you know, make the business grows, you know, it's exciting, and then with the duty as well. I mean, but people all aligned with each other, so we know what we're doing, we're acting the same.
As you look at the vision today, how fit for purpose do you think it is?
Absolutely. I mean, that's still like remain our highlights for the fashion industry. Yeah. So we kind of like people proud of themselves wearing that their elements plus like the international trend.
And as you look back on that period of changing the vision,
yes,
and bringing it into reality,
yeah,
what might you have done differently with retrospect?
I wouldn't say that I make a difference. I would done differently. I really like the planning. Like we like the ideas, getting experts. We like the idea that changing the whole new teams, like and then production lines, and then working together with the designer. What we want to do more, what make our brands more stands for, or not stand out, actually making our brand more acceptable to the local customers. So I think I did everything, you know, right, perfectly.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Sarah. Have a nice day.
And there we
All
go.
right. Hope it's not too arrogant. All talking about. Okay, right. So
we can see that STAR works in the same way, from our new entrant to our experienced professional to someone in a very senior leadership executive role. We're using STAR in the same way. In my experience, sometimes the very senior people do react more negatively to you asking them these questions. They see that their sort of CV, their bio, their LinkedIn, that should stand for itself. But I encourage interviewers, these are our important leaders in organisations, we've got to get this right.
Yeah.
So I really would encourage people still to stick to STAR and getting really good quality evidence.
Okay, so what did you do to stick to the STAR? What you trying to nail?
So I was trying to dig deep with this individual, so it was fairly high level what I was being told. I wasn't told really of anything that didn't go wrong. So I again might like to look for a counter example. But thinking of cross borders, of course, every culture is different. So in some cultures we're more comfortable saying when things went wrong, and in others we are less comfortable. So I would need to be sensitive to that, the environment that I'm interviewing in.
Yes, okay.
Yes, as I say, everything was very, very positive. You did tell me that the team were panicking. I could maybe have honed in that a little bit more. So that was all our action piece. The result, clearly, this person was very happy with what had happened.
Yeah,
felt
confident,
felt it was the right thing. People had been treated with respect, that the vision was still fit for purpose, which I thought was interesting, because in the fashion industry I wouldn't be surprised if this individual might be thinking about the next iteration of this already, because things move so fast. And you said you wouldn't do anything differently. And again, I would have loved to have seen, well, you know, there was something along the way you might have done differently.
You can see this like candidate is very assertive.
Yes.
Yeah. Might be like are they really open to these challenges? You know, that sort of things as you know, we can read their psychologically personality, like I do everything right.
Absolutely. Right? And what can be very useful is to have some we do our STAR-based interviewing. We have more than one interview, we have more than one interviewer, so we get different perspectives, but we might also have, especially for a big role like this, some informal moments, although this is useful for all of them. They go off and have coffee with a few other people. They have lunch out with someone. And you know, it's all part of the process. We're gathering evidence, but some of the evidence might be in a more informal environment, that individual, maybe we see something different about them.
Yes. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sarah, to work with me. We do this demo about the STAR model interview.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.